Welcome to the desk. Let's run the numbers. Every time you type a question into an AI and hit enter, a meter starts ticking. You don't see it. The company serving you tries very hard to make sure you never feel it. But it's there, on the back end, counting, and it never resets to free. Today I want to walk you through the single most important number in the entire AI business, the one that most founders never calculate until it's already eating them alive. What does it actually cost to answer one prompt? It's a tiny number. Fractions of a penny. And that tiny number is exactly why so many unlimited AI for $10 a month companies are quietly walking off a cliff. Let's get concrete about where the cost comes from, because you can't manage a number you don't understand. When you send a prompt, the AI doesn't think in words, it thinks in chunks called tokens. A token is roughly 3/4 of a word. The cat sat is about 3 tokens. Every word you send in, and every word the model sends back, gets counted in tokens, and you, or whoever is footing the bill, pays per token, both directions. The model makers publish these prices openly. A cheap, fast model might charge a fraction of a penny for 1,000 tokens. A top-tier reasoning model can cost 10, 20, even 50 times more for the exact same 1,000 tokens. Same question, wildly different meter speed, depending entirely on which engine you picked. So let's actually run one. Say a user asks your app a real question and attaches a chunk of a document, maybe 2,000 tokens going in. The model chews on it and writes back a solid answer, another 800 tokens out. On a mid-range model, that single exchange might cost you somewhere between a fraction of a cent and a few cents. Sounds like nothing, right? It is nothing, once. The trap is that once is never the number that matters. The number that matters is once, times every user, times every time they come back, times every day of the month. That fraction of a cent is a faucet, and a business is a faucet left running. Now watch what happens when you forget that. Here's the bankruptcy machine, and I've watched it run in real companies. A founder launches an AI app and to compete, offers, unlimited, use for a flat $20 a month. Most users are light. They poke at it a few times a week, costing maybe $1 or $2 of compute. The founder sees that average and celebrates, 20 in, 2 out, 18 of profit. But averages lie, because usage isn't flat, it's wildly lopsided. A small slice of power users discover the tool, wire it into their daily workflow, and start hammering it hundreds of times a day. That user paying $20 is now burning $60, $80, $100 of compute a month. And here's the cruel twist. Those are your most engaged, most loyal customers. The people who love your product the most are the ones losing you the most money. Unlimited doesn't mean generous. It means you've handed your worst-case cost to your best customers and asked them to please use it as much as possible. This is the exact opposite of how normal software works, and it's why so many founders get blindsided. In classic software, a note-taking app, a spreadsheet tool, once you've built it, serving one more customer costs you almost nothing. The 10th user and the 10 millionth user cost roughly the same, near zero. That's the magic that made software the best business model in history. Build once, sell infinitely, costs barely move. AI breaks that magic. Every single use costs you real money in compute, every time, forever. You don't have near zero marginal cost. You have a marginal cost that scales up with success. Which means the more popular you get, the bigger your bill, and if your pricing doesn't account for the meter, growth doesn't save you. Growth kills you faster. Now let me push back on my own doom, because the smart operators have answers, and this is where the real money is made. The cost per prompt number isn't a death sentence, it's a discipline. The winners obsess over it. First move, stop using a sledgehammer on every nail. Most prompts don't need the most expensive, most powerful model. They need a cheap, fast one that's 90% as good for a fraction of the price. The good operators route the easy questions to the cheap model and only spend big on the genuinely hard ones. That one decision can cut a compute bill by half or more. Second move, caching. If 100 users ask basically the same thing, you don't pay the model 100 times, you answer once and reuse it. Third move, trim the fat. Every unnecessary token you stuff into a prompt is money set on fire, multiplied by every request. The careless founder sends the whole document every time. The operator sends only what's needed. And then there's pricing, which is where most of these companies actually live or die, not in the technology, in the invoice. If your cost is a meter, your pricing has to respect the meter. The unlimited promise is a marketing drug. It pulls users in and then quietly poisons your margins. The operators who survive either price by usage, you pay for what you consume, the meter is honest and visible, or they cap the unlimited plan with quiet limits high enough that normal people never hit them but power users can't bleed you dry. The ones who go bust are the ones who treated compute like it was free, because their own app made it feel free. The meter doesn't care how it feels. At the end of the month, it sends a bill that's very, very real. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. This is also why the prices you're paying as a consumer right now might not be real. A lot of AI tools today are priced below what they cost to run, subsidized by investor money, fighting for market share in a land grab. You're enjoying a discount someone else is paying for. That can't last forever. At some point the music stops, the subsidies dry up, and prices snap back to reflect the actual meter. So if you're building a business on top of these tools, build it assuming the cheap prices vanish, because the company underwriting your discount is doing the same math I just showed you, and they will eventually decide they'd rather not go bankrupt for your convenience. So here's the scorecard, the thing I want you to actually do, whether you're building an AI product or just trying to understand which ones will survive. Know your cost per action, the real, fully loaded number it takes to deliver 1 unit of value to one user. Know your worst-case user, not your average one, because the average user never bankrupts anybody, the power user does. And make sure that every plan you sell stays profitable even when the customer uses it as hard as they possibly can. If you can't say, "Even my heaviest user makes me money," you don't have a business, you have a countdown. The meter is always running. The only question is whether you're the one reading it, or the one getting read. That tiny number, what one prompt costs, is the difference between an AI business and an expensive hobby with a logo. Next time, I'll show you the AI agency gold rush, the people promising to automate small businesses for a fat monthly fee, why most of those shops collapse inside a year, and the handful that quietly print money. Run the numbers with me, subscribe for the next AI money breakdown.